Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is how modern women, black women in particular, run away from conflicts, how they run away from relationships. And we're going to get deep in this. I'm going to have Kittie Rose comment on it, then I'm going to talk about it. Hold on one second as I pull it up. Boom, there it is. Now, as I always say, let's get it.
Avoiding behaviors are triggering their feelings of abandonment. Come here, baby. Let me talk to you. Just think about it. Whenever you're reluctant to actually engage in discussions about feelings, you're creating emotional distance. Or whenever you withdraw from conflict, if your go-to in a crisis or in a vulnerable moment is to retreat, what do you think is happening? You're destabilizing the foundation of your relationship. And so in that sense, how can they trust you?
Now, I'm going to talk about this. Women don't have a hard time arguing, as we already know. But with black women in particular, in my most humble opinion, they have what I call preferential conflicts. They have no issues arguing about who's sending you text messages, who is that calling you, who is that woman right there, how do you know her? Because they seen their mama argue with different men or a man over the pettiest things, over the silliest things, right? So they're comfortable arguing about certain topics. But when it comes to certain things that will force them to challenge their behavior, their appearance, they tend to not want to argue then. They tend to want to run away from those type of engagements. You know what I'm saying? So what a woman would do, if you tell her something like, I don't want you dressing like that anymore, or don't dress like that. I want you to cut off your friends. The friends that I see may be, the friends that you have may be a problem for our relationship. And I think it would be wise for you to not be around them so much. Don't listen to all the negative things they have to say. I think you should not go to this certain place. There's too much trouble over there, too many dangers. Someone got shot over there not long ago, and they still want to go there. So what they do is they try to avoid it. They will leave your home. They will depart from you. Sometimes they'll go to their friend's house, stay there, the mama's house, stay there. Because when a woman runs away from conflict in a healthy relationship, she's not in a good comfort zone. So she seeks a good comfort zone. And her avoiding the confrontation that will cause her to evaluate her behavior and to change her behavior, she'll seek a space where she feels comfortable. Okay. So she doesn't want to listen to you. She want to go to someplace where she feels that she doesn't have to listen to anybody, because she's avoiding that challenge, the challenge that you are presenting to her to change her behavior so that your relationship can blossom. So a lot of women are like what they call those runaway brides without even being married. They get cold feet in relationships because they start to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes they don't feel that they deserve the good relationship that they are getting from you because of the past relationships that they have already been in. So they don't know how to process a good relationship. All they know how to process is toxicity. They know how to be in relationships where a man is whooping up on them, talking bad to them, cheating on them because they're comfortable with that. They've been in those relationships before. They've seen their peers exist in those type of relationships. So when they are presented with a good man who brings good intentions and try to bring a good, healthy relationship, they tend to run from it. They say they want it, but they don't want it. This is why a lot of times when a man gets into an argument with a woman that is his, she runs, okay? Because they lack the maturity to handle conflicts. They lack the maturity to handle constructive criticisms. So this is one of the many reasons why women will leave and run away from you, simply because they are not comfortable with conflict. And it doesn't mean that it's a negative conflict. It's just that you are challenging their behavior. There's something that they're doing that may not be pleasing to you, and you are the mature individual who decides to bring it up and discuss it. But these discussions are so uncomfortable for these type of women, they run from you.
And if they don't trust you, how can they feel secure emotionally? If they don't feel secure emotionally, if they feel like they're the ones who are doing most of the work when it's a fight or a conflict, it's just simply them, that makes them feel lonely. And if you're going to retreat and run away, that's going to make them feel abandoned. And in this sense, you can't say that they're just imagining this, because it's real. It's actually happening in the now. There's proof that you run whenever there needs to be a vulnerable moment or anything related to feelings. So for that person who's actually seeking that connection, your avoidance It's making them feel lonely.
Exactly. This is what makes a man feel that he's in. This is what makes a man feel as if he is in a one-sided relationship, and he is. If he's the one having to always fight, and you shouldn't have to fight for a relationship, but if you are that guy who's fighting for the relationship, it makes him feel lonely, makes him feel as if you're not as interested in trying to make this relationship continue as much as he is. And instead of running, you need to be vulnerable, like she said. When a woman runs like that, she feels vulnerable. Because now, like I said, you're challenging her behavior. You're putting a spotlight on how she thinks. You're putting a spotlight on her mindsets and how she perceives things and how she should do in relationships, right? So instead of being vulnerable and opening herself up to you and your instructions and your guidance and your correction, she'd rather retreat into what she knows. And all she knows is, can't nobody tell me anything. I'm independent. I'm a grown woman and stuff like that. And these things are hindrances. These are strongholds in the mentality of a woman. These are the type of mindsets that keep them single, and these are the type of mindsets that keep them in toxic relationships, and always have them wondering why they can't find a good man, because they don't know how to deal with a good man. In order for you to be with a good man, you have to be vulnerable to that good man. You have to take risks with that good man. You have to risk being vulnerable with that good man, and you have to understand how to be mature enough to change your behavior once your behavior has been challenged by that man. When a man challenges your behavior, and if he genuinely wants to be with you, it's not because he wants to hurt you. It's because he wants the best for you. But unfortunately, a lot of women think if a man provides any type of correction, any type of guidance or insight, then he's trying to control her. Now, if a man is a leader, leadership always has a certain degree of control anyway. You can't lead somebody that you can't control. You can't lead somebody that you can't correct, direct, or guide. So once a man begins to tell you these things, women, that means that you have to shape up. That means that you have to take a look at yourself and use common sense. If the man is not telling you something that is harmful to you, but something that can only better you or better the relationship that he has with you, then apparently he cares enough for the relationship to want to see it grow. But unfortunately, women don't have that type of mindset. They are immature. They are tall children, unfortunately, in today's age. Let's keep going.
It's making them feel lonely. And that feels very one-sided. It makes for a very lonely, one-sided relationship. So then this creates this emotional gap. You have one person who is seeking reassurance because you may be the person who's invalidating them, and they're constantly pursuing you, which is causing you to run away. Do you see how this is creating conflict and chaos?
This is why I tell you all the time, all those relationships where you break up to make up are failures. They are toxic. There's no such thing as a good relationship where you are consistently breaking up and consistently making back up. So every time he's chasing you, that's what any pursuing is, chasing you. Whenever he's chasing for you and fighting for you and stuff like that, and you are always running from him. Think about it. He pursues you or chases you, and every time he gets close to you, you run from him. It's a toxic cycle that continues on. He's going to get tired of that. He's going to leave you alone. Even if he give you multiple chances, he's going to be saying, man, I'm sick of this shit. I know my worth. I know I can find a woman that's better than that, because this shit right here is for the bird. Okay?
Conflict and chaos. Then we have this pursue-withdrawal cycle that's full of resentment and tension and distress. The one thing you don't want to do is signal that you don't value that relationship, but your avoidant tendencies typically do. And it's that perception that intensifies those feelings of abandonment. Think about a person having to navigate alone, solve alone, process alone, feel alone, regulate alone. Think about that. That's kind of what you're making them do. Your avoidant behaviors and tendencies protect you, but they're not protecting your relationship. Wish you all the best. Happy, healthy relationships. Bye, babies.
Yes. She told you the truth. Yep. When you do all that running away stuff, you're trying to protect yourself from the truth. Not the lie, but from the truth. And you are destroying the relationships. Anyway, you let me know what you think about this particular topic. I'll be talking to y'all pretty soon. Y'all take it easy now, you hear?